to some people's favorite topic, which is advertising. And I say that in a somewhat facetious, sarcastic way, because, on Amazon, that's the bane of the existence of some Amazon sellers is, PPC ads is like taking up so much of my budget. It's so complicated. There's so many different ad types. It's such a mess. I personally have never run one ad yet on my new-ish TikTok shops. We're going to talk to somebody who has spent, how much would you say since you started, not even a couple years ago, how much have you paid TikTok for advertising?
I should probably go and actually look. We're spending in between $500 and $1,000 a day right now.
$500,000.
So $500 to $1,000.
Really? So yeah, you paid probably $500,000 or more over your time on TikTok shop ads. Now, basics of Amazon. You guys have seen your PPC or Ads Academy here in our Freedom Ticket and Helium 10 training. You've got sponsored product ads, you've got sponsored brand, you've got sponsored display, you've got DSP, and it goes on from there. You've got ASIN targeting campaigns, video campaigns. What are the main types of campaigns that you guys are using in TikTok Shop?
So, you really just have this basic ad type campaign, and then you have a GMV max for posts, right? And so we use the basic ads initially. And so that's where you're actually like choosing the videos that you're going to go run on. So if you're working with affiliate, you have to get a Spark ad or Spark code to go and run video or run ads on those. And you're kind of choosing. So let's
talk about that a quick second. So you have an affiliate.
Yeah.
They, you're looking at the TikTok Shop portal. You see they uploaded a video. This is a nice video. I want to get that more eyeballs on that video.
Yeah.
What's the step?
So they would give you your Spark code.
So is that something I have to message them for? Okay.
Yeah. So they would have to go onto their video. There's some clicks to go and do that, and they'd have to give you a code. And then
most of them should know. Like if you just say that, hey, can I have your Spark code, and they'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they'd authorize it. So they can authorize it for 30 days or 60 days or 365 for a year, right? For you to go and use that video.
Okay. And then now I got the Spark code. I go into TikTok Shop Seller Center, and what I'm looking for? It says Spark codes or a Spark ad, or
well, you got to go within your campaign. So you set up the campaign and the group, and then you go and then add that video to that group with that Spark code. So it's a little more manual as far as the way that you with the way you set those campaigns up when you're working with.
And it's not like a pay-per-click for this model, or what's the kind of model of advertising is that under?
Yeah, you're paying for views, right? So the ROI is really based upon your transactions, but you're really just paying for presentations, right?
And then, so what do I have control over? Like the budget, like a daily budget, or what does TikTok Shop offer me for promoting this affiliate's video?
Yeah, so you have a daily budget for you can set the budgets of the campaign or at a lower level.
So how do you determine the budget? Is it based on how good the video is, or what kind of reach you think they have, or how do you determine how much money you're going to put behind a certain video?
So it really, a lot of times you'd start with maybe a smaller amount and then just step it up. But it's all about, like, if it's performing, then then you keep expanding that. If it's not, then you would remove it from the campaign.
And so in that campaign, I can see how it's like. I can see if it's converting to sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can set up. There's different within the campaigns. You can do where you're trying to drive sales. You can do follower campaigns. You can do some others. So we've done some campaigns where we have people where it's all just about trying to gain followers or leads, acquire email addresses. So we have a campaign where we can sign up to have people provide their email address. So it's kind of more like a lead generation type thing that you might have a service business use, but we use it to build our email list.
Okay. So if it's not my video, the only advertising I can do is if I have the Spark code, or can I just pick random videos? I'm like, hey, I want to put some money behind it. Or no, I need that Spark.
You got to have the Spark code with the with that campaign type. Yeah.
Okay. How much percent of your daily budget is going to that type of advertising?
We're not using any of those right now. We just use GMV Max.
Okay.
Ad campaigns. So that's a different kind of style.
We talked about it with Vincent, but for those who might just have skipped to this module, what is GMV Max ads?
Well, GMV Max, you're really taking advantage of TikTok's algorithm to be able to present videos to people based off the probability of them converting, right? And so it's a bit of a black box. You don't have the control where with the other ones, you can turn videos on and off. And so you don't have, so it's just kind of taking it and you kind of have to trust it, right?
So you're just like saying, here's $500 a day TikTok and go make me some money? Or?
Yeah, but you give it a target, you give it a budget, and then you give an ROI target. And so you say, hey, I want a 6 times ROI or a 5 times ROI or a 2 times ROI.
What do you put for yours?
And so most of ours, we're trying to sit around a 4 ROI. I mean, we've run a 6, but it's really like we can go to a higher ROI, but you're just going to spend less. So you're going to have less sales. So it's about the balance that you need, depending on your profit profile, your margins, and your LTV for customers. You have to understand what that looks like. Now, when you set that ROI with the GMV max, it can be kind of deceiving because you set that ROI and it's not just like a ROAS, it's more of a tacos ROI, right? So it's not just looking when it calculates that return, it's looking at your total sales. So it's got your organic and your paid sales in there. So you have to be careful about that's not just the return that you're getting like on the paid side.
Interesting. Okay. And then what is it promoting? All right. I say, hey, I want a 4 ROI. Here's $500 a day. Mm-hmm. What is TikTok doing with that money? What content is it pushing?
So for us, you choose a product, right, that's associated with that. So anybody that has tagged that product, right, in their shop, right? So that could be a branded video that we've tagged this Boxer Brief, or these 30 other affiliates that they've tagged this because they have a target or they're part of our target or open plan. And because they tag it, it's like auto opted into that. And so it just automatically picks it up and goes. So you don't have to do anything from a brand owner standpoint. It's just going to go and run ads on that. Now, the problem is you don't have a lot of visibility regarding like the efficiency. You can see where you're getting sales and things. But with that GMV max ads, TikTok may be presenting multiple posts to someone. So think about almost like a funnel, like where they might present this ad or this video to someone, and then this video, and then this one. But when you look at the GMV, like the only thing that's getting attribution is that last click attribution, right? So, but maybe there was like 3 videos that they brought them down the sales funnel. This is the intro, the brand video, and then this and that. But so this one doesn't look like it's necessarily like converting as well. This one's the one that's closing everybody. But with GMV Max, it's kind of feeding them like a cocktail of videos to be able to help them work down that funnel. And then they're actually transacting or closing on this one. So you only see from an attribution standpoint, you only see what that last, what the closer video is.
Interesting. Now, you mentioned that some of your own videos you promote, and that's why we saw some heavy views. Which ad type did that?
That's all with the GMV. We're only using GMV Max ads for our videos right now.
But so with GMV Max, you can have the specificity to say, hey, only promote my videos, or it's still the product, and then it's your videos that have that product in it, along with affiliates videos that have that product in it that get
correct
bumped, and it's TikTok that decides the allocation.
Yeah.
Do you have like a target tacos overall? Because like, for example, let's say I'm running, GMV Max, and they're pushing one of my influencers videos, and I'm giving them 15% commission.
Yeah.
Like I got to be careful a little bit. Sure, I'm sure I could, get some more sales, but then if I'm having to pay TikTok and I'm paying the influencer, things can get out of hand quickly. So like, do you have like a target tacos overall that you're looking for, or how do you make sure that overall you remain profitable with your advertising?
Yeah, so we're trying to say about a 25%, right?
Sure.
And so for us now, like we mentioned before, with your commission rates, you can set an organic commission rate with that affiliate, and you can set a paid commission rate with that affiliate, right? So if you want to have a lower, because you're boosting them, and there's some affiliates that, like when they made this change with TikTok, they got all upset. They're like, why are they cutting my commissions? Because some people really took advantage of it because they were doing like 20% for the organic, and then they did 1% for paid, right? And so people felt like they got like a pay cut overnight, and they were being taken advantage of and things like that. But it's like, those are still, even with the 1% commission, those are still sales they're going to get that they wouldn't have gotten normally from because it's paid, right? They're not pushing that. So we keep the same commission rate on both full sets. whether it's paid or organic. But there's most brands I think have dropped where they're paying less on a paid traffic.
All right, so I'm just getting started. I do some lives. I make some posts. I send out some samples to affiliates, and they start putting some videos. At what point should I start either of these ads, like either the Spark or the GMV Max? Like, should I wait? Is it time based? Is it waiting until X number of pieces of content for a certain product have gotten out there? Mm-hmm. Is it from day one that I start?
Well, I would recommend if you have a video that's really going viral or it's getting some decent views on there, something that's doing more, several thousand views, I would go and test and start running some ads on it because it already has some organic runway. That's something that's, or something that's converting, right? Maybe it doesn't have the views, but you're getting some conversions, on that. Go and start testing and put $5 or $10 like a day, like on it, and start just kind of easing yourself into it and just get comfortable with it. If you don't want to go,
can I do that on my own, or that's all? I can only do GMB Max on my own, and it's only to a product, or can I, or instead of the video, like if I have one of my own videos that starts going up, am I able to put money just behind that one video?
Yeah, you can do the basic ad campaign where you have more of the manual control. You can go and do that.
So that's like the equivalent of doing a Spark for somebody else.
Yeah,
it's that type.
Yeah, I mean, you can put those within the same campaign, right? You can put that with yours, but you can manage those individual ads with that. And so to get started, I would just recommend going and doing that, where it's a little more manual, but it allows you to kind of ease into it. The GMV Max used to be limited, so you had to have a little more sales volume before they've opened it up a little more now, but it was something it was kind of like only open to certain GMV size at one time. But yeah, I would just encourage you to just start with the smaller amount and just test it out, and then with those videos that are already getting some organic push versus going, oh, this got 10 views, I'm gonna go and like run ads on it, right? Just take stuff. So that's the benefit of getting a lot more content out there. You can actually like test and, hey, this stuff's actually starting to perform. There may be some opportunity there, and let's go and put a little money behind it and start pushing. In some cases, like you can actually really accelerate some of those sales and the traffic on that. Even, okay, there's enough organic, but then you give it some paid push. And then, because the thing is, one thing that really helps with those posts is comments, right? Watch time and comments. And so you might put a little ad money behind it and then generate some comment. You go and reply to the comments that are there in the post, and then that increases the score, right? Because with the algorithm, with TikTok algorithm, it's all, there's the scoring that occurs based off your engagement, which is, you're with a video, you've got posts, likes, shares, and then GMV. And then watch time on that. So if you can increase those metrics via the paid, it can kind of have a snowball effect on that post.
Interesting. All right, what else, anything else about advertising you think our audience needs to know about?
I would recommend, if you can get to GMV and you have the money to go and do that you would go and try that out. We've had a lot better success with the GMV. Other brands have done better with the more the basic ad types, and they have a little more control with that. With GMV, we've done a lot better. Initially, when we started, we had all of our products in a single GMV campaign. We've now gone and broken it out, so we have a GMV campaign by parent. So I have 40 different GMV campaigns, but you have to be careful about that because you need enough content for each one of those campaigns. And so, like I said, to have a good campaign, you need at least 20 pieces of content. That's just like bare minimum. You really need to have more than that. And you might see like ad performance start to drop with like a GMV campaign, and a lot of it has to do with your content. Like, are you feeding it enough content? And so it is a bit of a beast. You have to keep feeding it. And so it's all about feeding content on TikTok.
All right, guys, we have gone through a lot of things here with Jared, and we, believe it or not, only scratched the surface of some of his knowledge. We're definitely going to bring him back remotely to give us some help on some of our campaigns and things, but what have you gone over in this course so far? Hopefully how to start your TikTok shop, what's needed, how to start your brand page and your profile. We've talked about getting your listings, your logistics all set up, how to get your first orders. We've talked also about how to push your product with advertising, through influencers, through live shopping. Hopefully you have enough here to get started on TikTok shop. Now remember that you've got one of the hardest parts done. You've got an Amazon product. Product development is hard to figure out what's going to go. So if you are selling on Amazon USA, might as well start on TikTok Shop. We're going to show you guys in the future how maybe you can get started from scratch if you've never sold any physical product at all and get started on TikTok Shop. But that's like later, for other people who haven't started. Most of you who are watching this, you're already, like Jared was, been selling on Amazon for a few months, a few years or whatever. You've got the inventory, you've got the logistics system with Amazon FBA or your own warehouse. You've got the images, you've done the photo shoots, all the hard work is done. All right. So it's about taking your eggs, not just keeping it in one basket and spreading it a little bit to the TikTok basket using already all the hard work that you've done and your knowledge about e-commerce. Yes, GMV Max is a little bit different than Amazon PPC, but you've been doing Amazon advertising. I'm sure you guys know about how things work. Maybe you've contacted influencers on Amazon. You know the basics of some of this stuff. So it's a no-brainer, guys. If you have not done so and you are selling in Amazon USA or you're selling in Amazon UK or some of these other marketplaces, these countries that also have TikTok Shop available, you have got to get started. And who knows, your TikTok Shop sales might reach 7 figures just like Jared's has. So Jared, thank you so much for joining us on this course, and we really appreciate you flying all the way out here to help us. And I'm not going to ask you to fly back here again. We're going to do the next ones remotely, but you have given us a great start here for how to have success, and wish you all the best of success in your TikTok Shop business.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So this training really helped me get started when I started selling on Amazon. And so that's why I wanted to help kind of give back instead of just like been taking for so long. And so Bradley was like super helpful. Like he doesn't know like how much he's helped me with the podcasts and the trainings. Like literally I worked for like a year before I had the guts to actually start up and going. But the Helium 10 trainings and the podcast were really what really helped me to do that.
Love it. Thanks a lot, Jared. And we'll see you soon.